Hi everybody. I just thought I would come on here and do some mindful movement for the shoulders because I woke up with some creaky shoulders and I was doing a mindful movement practice myself, and I also had an awesome sort of tutorial with one of my mentors this morning. So I'm feeling high on the vibe and I just want to spread the love. So let's just do a very short practice, mindful movement. Why do we do mindful movement? We do it to create a deeper relationship with our bodies. We do it to increase our awareness about what's actually happening in our bodies and also in our minds. We do mindful movement because creating this space, this feeling of spaciousness, it's a practice, and it's not something that necessarily comes easy, and that it's very just something that we fall into. It's something that we have to cultivate and practice. It's sort of a devotion to ourselves. So let's start. I would like to start with just a quick quote from Sharon Salzberg, who many of you might know. She is a big presence in the Buddhist community and also in mindfulness practices. She says, "When we contemplate the miracle of an embodied life, we begin to partner with our bodies in a kinder way." I just love that. What can we do to start the conversation with ourselves? We can start conversations with so many other people so easily, but how do we just slow down and take a minute and check in with ourselves? And so that's what I'd like to provide, just maybe 5 minutes for us to do that together today. So I'd like to invite you to act as if your sits bones are your feet right now. We're going to shift weight and we're going to draw our attention. Good morning, Mark Z. We're going to draw our attention to our sits bones. If you don't know what your sits bones are, there's these bottom places of bone in the pelvis that make contact with the chair. Sometimes the glute tissue is in the way, so just lean to one side, lift, and let the sit bone make contact with the chair. Same for the other side, lift the glute tissue and feel that sits bones. It might actually hurt a little bit. I have a very bony prominence there, right? I think we all do. That's the sits bone. So if you're feeling that, you know that you're in connection with the chair and your sits bones are making contact. So I'd like to invite you to take, and I'm going to use my hands to represent what the sits bones looks like in case you can't see me shifting weight for my sits bones. So I'd like to invite you to just draw your attention inside, close your eyes, focus on your breath, really turn your focus inward. Start to cultivate that inner awareness and just start to take some movement. And what would it be like if that movement that you take is coming from your sits bones? All movements that you're making, just imagine that it's coming from your sits bones. And I'm feeling a little circular motion. And you don't have to do this. If it feels better for you to go sway side to side, forward to back, diagonally, there's so many options, just experiencing the nuance of the feeling that we can have here in the sits bones. Who knew that there were so many things to sense and feel just from this very small movement, simple movement? So when I'm going in a circle, I'm feeling my sits bones sort of move forward and back on the chair, and I'm feeling my weight moving into those different points in my sits bones. And just for a second, if you can pause on the left sits bones, just pause on the left sits bones and see if you can feel that energy that's radiating up. If you can still make contact, the right sits bones, your weight is on your left sits bones. And if you can still keep that right sits bones anchored onto the chair, you can start to feel that energy radiating up. And shift to the other side, because the bone on this surface can be a little intense. Feeling that energy radiating upwards. And then coming back to whatever movement you were making. And pause. And breathe. And just feel into your sits bones and see what the sensations there feel like. Maybe there's an enlivening. Maybe there's this new tingly feeling. All the nerve endings are happy. Coming alive, waking up. And then start to just take another movement, maybe swaying side to side. Maybe swaying forward to back. What is that thing? The thing in the ocean is a buoy, right? You see the bottom being heavy and it's bobbing, and the top is just sort of like flopping along. What would it be like if our head could be the top of that buoy? It's sort of going in the other direction, isn't it? Our sits bones are going back while our head is going forward. And our sits bones are going forward while our head is going back. And likewise, our sits bones are going left and our heads are going right. And what would it be like if you cut that movement into half? Without going to the full range of motion, maybe stopping before you reach that edge. A very comfortable range of motion. And then maybe another image of when a tree sways in the wind. The trunk is anchored down, but the canopy of the trees just kind of flow in the breeze. What would it be like if you let the canopy of your tree, which is your head, lead the way? Your head now is the place where you're moving from, and your trunk is just following. How does that feel different to you? Or does it feel the same? And then just come back to center and pause. Breathe. Feeling that elongation of the spine all the way up from the sits bones through the torso, up the head, out the head. And just bathing in this vast ocean of pleasantness, this beautiful feeling that we've cultivated in our body. Just really drink that in right now. And I'd like to invite you now to sculpt. We're going to be sculptors and artists now. So sculpting that neck, sculpting the neck. We're sculpting right under our ears and our jaw where we hold so much tension, just allowing that sculpting. And when we sculpt, we're just basically doing light hand touch movements here. We're sculpting the superficial tissue, but we're really reaching so much more deeper. We're getting those deeper structures, the organs, the bones, the deeper fascia, the deeper skin tissue, and also the organs. We're sending a message to our nervous system that It's okay to let down your guard. It's okay to let go. I'm getting a little shiver right now. And we haven't been touched. I haven't been working as a massage therapist. You haven't been receiving massage if you're used to that, because of our situation right now. And doesn't it feel good to just sculpt these areas? Sculpting the arms down into the hands, whew, and just let it go. Non-attachment to the feeling. Feel the feeling and just let it go. And then just pause and breathe and feel into the body, feel into any sensations that have been created as a result of this sculpting. Maybe feeling the echoes of the movement that we just did in the stillness. Is there stillness is there movement in the stillness? Just being curious. Thank you so much for taking this time to be with yourself, to be with your own body, to cultivate that inner dialogue. And you may not see benefits right away, but you may see changes over the course of the day. Maybe you're calmer, maybe you're able to navigate hard conversations a little bit better, and you're able to respond instead of react. I'm curious to see maybe what this has created in you, and we've only been on here for 5 minutes. So if you do feel that this experience was beneficial to you, please pop back in and comment, even if you're watching the replay. And I hope to be doing more of these. So have a great day. Bye, everybody.